and a very good evening, and hoping you had a wonderful day today. Welcome to Hope TV Newswatch, where we bring you news, views, and interviews that made headline today. My name is Melissa Oduor. On the sign language is Boniface Muredi. Newswatch begins now. A day after his multi-million shilling business chain located opposite Nyayo National Stadium was demolished, Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi now claims that he is facing political persecution. Speaking after visiting the site today, Wamatangi vowed to remain unbowed, claiming that this was one among numerous attempts by his force to derail his 2027 ambition of seeking a second term. This as it emerged that the land on which the property is located is subject to a legal battle between him and the Kenya Railways Corporation. However, Wamatangi insists that he had secured court orders to prevent the demolition.
Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi is a man under siege. During a yesternight operation, his business located on Douglas Wakihuri Road opposite Nyayo Stadium was demolished. While visiting the site today, Wamatangi said that the demolition was part of a concerted effort by his detractors to frustrate him.
Haya ambayo yametokea leo ni mipango ya siasa. And I'm asking myself, when will this political persecution end for me? Kwangu kama governor wa Kiambu, hii mateso ya kisiasa itaisha ama itafika wapi? Is an act of cowardice. Kwa vile mimi, I am non-political, I am a development person. This is intended to silence me and to remove me from my development agenda, so that I can become just like anybody else who has no name. But I have made a decision that I'm going to work for the people of Kiambu completely, without a single word of politics until 2027.
At the center of this demolition is the piece of land on which the business sits, which is a Kenya Railways land. According to Wamatangi, despite the fact that he has a valid lease contract with the Kenya Railways, there was no notice ordering him to vacate. His lawyers further insist that he obtained an order from court yesterday blocking the demolition.
There was never even one single day a notice. Even one time. Hakuna notice na kama mtu akonaye asembe akonaye. Sisi tuko na hata wakati walijaribu kutupisha mara tatu, huyu ndiye wakili wetu na huyu ni wakili wetu. Na wako na hizi court orders hapa, hii wakili unaweza shika na wewe uko na hii nyingine. Tuko na court orders which were signed wakati tulisikia wanatutishia, wanakuja usiku, wamekuja karibu mara 5 mfululizo.
Tena hapo jana asubuhi koti iliweza kutoa order nyingine, na ikatoa wakati ambapo mawakili wa railways walikuwa, mawakili wa polisi walikuwa, na wakaambiwa wamepatiwa order ya kwamba si hata ati wasibomoe, wasikaribie hapa, wasisumbue mtu yote anakuja hapa. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu ukikuja kubomoa hivyo, haubomoi kwa sababu ya gavana. Hata gavana si ati anafaidika sana na hii. Ni wale watu ambao leo hawatakuwa na pesa.
Going forward, Wamatangi has vowed to remain unbowed, challenging his competitors to meet him on the campaign trail in 2027 as he seeks a second term from the people of Kiambu.
Wenye wanataka kunivuta kwa siasa ndio watafute njia ya kunimaliza, sitaingia kwa siasa. Lakini 2027 mwezi wa 3 nitakuwa kwa hiyo siasa. Na nitatafutana na kiti ya governor wa kaunti ya Kiambu. Na hiyo kiti ya governor, watu wetu najua wamesema ya kwamba watatubariki nayo kwa vile tumefanya kazi. Wenye wanataka hiyo kiti ya governor, mtu akuje kwa uwanja, waache kutumia nguvu za maofisi za serikali kunigandamiza.
Wamatangi's lawyers are now moving to court to question why the order they obtained yesterday in the presence of Kenya Railways was not followed. In response, Kenya Railways has issued a statement saying that encroachers were given notices to vacate to allow for the construction of a railway station and a railway spur line adjacent to Nyayo Stadium for ease of transport for funds ahead of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Jacob Ochiro.
Jacob Ochiro there with that report, kicking off our bulletin tonight. Moving on, former Chief Justice David Maraga has decried the state of education in the country, saying if he wins the 2027 presidential election, he will ensure his government offers a better plan anchored firmly in the right to education as guaranteed by the Constitution. Speaking at a media event held by his UGM party concerning the state of education in the country, Maraga, who is the presidential party candidate, said Kenya can well afford to educate its children. However, runaway corruption must be addressed. He accused the Kenya Kwanza government of escalating the debt crisis and hurriedly adopting reforms to the detriment of the education sector.
That education is our sacred promise to every Kenyan child. A nation that neglects education mortgages its future, and it just can't move. We must guarantee equal education to every Kenyan child. That is a constitutional right that the government has no option but to deliver. And all it requires, as I've said, is just planning. It's not because we don't have resources, it's just planning. Anchored firmly in the right to education as guaranteed by the Katiba. Technology will be a tool for inclusion, not inequality. Digital learning cannot replace teachers, classrooms, or basic resources. It will only succeed where there is infrastructure, teacher training, local relevance, and safeguards for equality. My government will prioritize the last mile of technology, ensuring that a child in Mandera has the same opportunities as a child in Nairobi. My fellow Kenyans, Kenya needs an education reset grounded in constitutionalism and common sense.
We're staying with the education matters now as grade 10 learners continue reporting to various exercise has been overshadowed parents over the sky of school uniforms. The house on various items requirement list but directives from school heads ordering them to buy from specific prices are reportedly double the market rate. As parents lament for the market alarm arbitrary changes to uniform specifications. Our reporter Vincent sheds light on this matter.
For many parents, the transition to grade 10 was supposed to be a milestone of academic progress. Instead, it has become a financial nightmare. In shops across the country, the cost of a full set of uniforms has surged, leaving many families struggling to meet the demands.
Tuko kwa harakati ya kurudisha watoto shule na sasa nimeweza kukuja huku ndio angalau iko ghali sana kule niliweza kuwa.
But the high prices aren't the only bone of contention. A growing number of parents are accusing school principals of monopolizing the trade. They claim they are being issued specific referral slips or verbal instructions to purchase uniforms from designated shops.
Shule yenye nilikuwa naitwa alikuwa ameambiwa hivyo. Hiyo changamoto nikaona ni ngumu sana, nikaona wacha nikuje Oduor market ni nichukulie uniform hapo kwa bei rahisi kidogo.
Kule tumetumwa kila kitu iko, utapata kila kitu na kwa time utapata kila kitu, but bei nayo changamoto. Unajipata ukinunua kila kitu pale utakosa sanduku, kose blanketi, kose vitu vifaa zingine.
However, the retailers themselves are caught in the middle of a different battle. Uniform sellers are now urging education stakeholders, specifically principals, to maintain consistency in uniform designs. The sellers argue that sudden changes in fabric material, shades of color, or embroidered patterns result in massive losses.
Materials zimechange, wamechijiwa uniform, kwa hivyo zenye tulikuwa nazo tunabadilisha. Kwa hivyo customer wako na challenges. Wengi wao wananunua, wanaenda kurudishwa shule, hatutaki uniform. Na walikuwa wanajua hiyo uniform wamenunua ndio hiyo. Wameweka majina, wameweka logo, kwa hivyo kuna challenges za customers. Tena kuna challenges za material. Tumemaliza guo, hakuna material. Hiyo imehike yenye material yenye tumekuta. Kwa hivyo hata sisi tuna change the prices.
Akileta hiyo guo tunamubadilishia na ile iko sawa sawa kama ameconfirm ile uniform.
As the standoff between cost and consistency continues, the ultimate burden remains on the shoulders of the parent. For now, many are calling on the Ministry of Education to intervene and regulate both the pricing and the tie-in sales practices currently being enforced by schools.
Gharama iko juu kwa wazazi saa hii. Unajua ni Januari na hakuna pesa siku hizi, pesa imepotea kidogo. Kwa hivyo naweza sema hata hii muda ya watoto kuingia shule wangepeleka mpaka next week, at least wazazi waendelee kujipanga kidogo. Juu kila kitu kama saa hii.
With Kenyans grappling with the high cost of living, it then begs the question why school heads would direct parents to specific shops for school uniforms and other particulars. Is it about quality or is it a money-making venture? Vincent Kerosi, Hope TV, Nairobi.
What if your pain had a purpose? What if your past was just a beginning of a greater story?
Gotten to another level because now I could not do anything without it, and now it became like a poison. I take it today, it grounds me for 3 more days.
If I had not read the Bible, when I read the Bible, it just confirmed all the more that I had an encounter with the Lord, because I told him, Lord, why have you come to me?
From the streets to the sanctuary, from the prison yard to the pulpit, real people are sharing the power of God's transforming love. No matter where you've been, God can rewrite your story.
So I got him, I just called, and by luck, he picked up the phone. Whoa. I explained everything and what I was feeling. Wow. He started praying in tongues immediately over the phone, and that thing, whatever it was, it stopped.
Join me, Sharon Aitore Wangenye, for Testify every Thursday at 8 p.m. as we listen through the journey of hope, healing, and redemption through the voices of people just like you.
And when you're running away from God, there's only the fire you can run.
Yeah.
I stand here as a witness that God catches up.
These aren't just stories, they are testimonies. Don't just watch. Testify.
Hi everyone, my name is George Gishoro, a presenter with Hope TV. Thank you so very much for continuing to support us by watching all our programs. Now, we would love to serve you even better. Now, we want to know where you are watching us from and the strength of the signal. You can scan the QR code and ensure that you answer all the questions in ensuring that you are getting us loud and clear with crystal pictures. So, go ahead and fill in the QR code so that we can serve you better right here at Hope TV, where you look and live.
There's a world out there searching for hope, and you can help bring it home. By becoming a friend of Hope, you're helping us share the love of Jesus through Hope FM and Hope TV. With a donation of any amount, join hands with us to bring hope and point souls to the transforming power of Jesus Christ. Become a friend of Hope today by making your donation through the M-Pesa paybill number 933933, account FOH. For more information on how to become a friend of Hope, call 0116-212-723 or email customerexperience@hopefm.org or visit www.hopemediakenya.org. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
We're back with more news items here on Hope TV News Watch. Now, the Nairobi County Doctors' Strike has entered its 28th day today, with the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union KMPDU accusing the county government of ignoring their grievances. The medics, who have downed their tools over delayed salaries and stalled promotions, have vowed not to return to work until their demands are met. Alice Diana tells us more.
Patients seeking health services in public hospitals across Nairobi County have continued to suffer following the ongoing doctors' strike. The strike that began on December 19, 2025, entered its 28th day today, with the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union accusing the county government of failing to honor their side of return to work formula.
The county is not honoring the side of return to work formula which we signed in April 2025. So, and other chronic recurrent issues being two major issues where we have delayed salary payment. As at now, today is 14th. And we don't have salaries, and you know what happened this week and last week. Kids are going back to school, and then now the other one, we don't have a comprehensive cover. It only came up yesterday after our governor had to pay for somebody emergency case, so I think he gave an executive order.
Patients are suffering. If you go to the outpatient now, there's a queue of patients who are being convinced to go to Kenyatta because there are no doctors. But there's a governor, there's a CS, there's a CEC sitting somewhere, very happy.
The medics have also raised issue with stalled promotions and accrued salary arrears.
We are not being promoted. Doctors have stagnated in the same job group for the last 6, 7, 8 years, so we have historical injustices. And at the same time, we have the NMS defunct NMS. We have doctors who have been working there. So actually, not only doctors, but now we're speaking about doctors, and they have not received their gratuity for the last 2 years. Contract ended. It was clearly written in the contract that after end of your contract 3 year, you'll get your gratuity. As we speak, there is no clear direction on the same. And then county has this habit of removing people from payroll from nowhere illegally. You wake up tomorrow, you're not on the payroll. When they remove you from the payroll, it means you're not getting salaries. So you have doctors who are still owed their arrears since January last year, 2025, and they have not been paid to date.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union KMPDU Nairobi leaders have vowed that the doctors will not go back to work until the Nairobi County government, led by Governor Johnson Sakaja, meets their demands.
So we want the promotions to happen, we want the gratuity to be paid, and we want all the arrears which doctors are owed to be paid. And this chronic, recurrent delay of salaries. Imagine Nairobi County 14th, no salaries for employees, and us not having cover every 9th of every month.
This time round, we are not going back until they sort out our issues. Yeah. The ball is to them. It's for them to score or not to score.
Meanwhile, the clinical officers' strike in Nairobi has entered its 21st day today, with other cadres expected to commence their strike tomorrow. Joey! Alice Diana, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Alice, for that report. And the government has released 6 billion shillings to cushion Kenyans facing hunger in drought mitigation efforts. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki made the announcement during the 14th Development Partners Forum, centered on aligning international aid with President William Ruto's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, prioritizing drought relief and people-centered programs like youth entrepreneurship through the Nyota Empowerment Program. Kindiki said the amount will cater for food aid, water and livestock support across 20 arid counties, with 4 billion shillings pledged monthly. He, however, said a 2 billion shilling shortfall needs partner help amid rising food prices. The forum was attended by, among others, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and UN Resident Coordinator Stephen Jackson, who committed to mutual accountability on priorities like irrigated agriculture, infrastructure and climate resilience.
Kenya has already made the commitment for 4 billion shillings every 30 days, and we'll review the situation based on the information we receive. I therefore want to assure all the people of Kenya that the government considers the situation as a serious situation, and the government has mobilized all available resources to prevent loss of life and loss of livelihood. We must move from depending on precipitation to feed the people of Kenya and to create jobs using agriculture. We are aware that there are countries which do not receive any precipitation, and you will not hear the kind of things that we discuss here every so often about drought and famine.
Chief Justice Martha Koome has declared a vacancy in the office of the Judge of the Supreme Court in a Gazette notice in accordance with the Judicial Service Act. The vacancy comes as a result of the death of Justice Mohammed Ibrahim on the 17th of December last year. Now, Mohammed died after battling a long illness. For appointment, applicants should have at least 15 years of experience as a superior court judge and experience as a distinguished judicial officer and legal practitioner, and be a person of high moral character and integrity, among other qualifications stipulated in the Constitution. Interested applicants have been urged to visit the Judicial Service Commission job portal for instructions on how to apply. And in Bungoma, a family from the Ndengelwa village in Kandui are demanding justice after their kin, who is a security guard, was attacked by armed guards and left nursing serious injuries. According to the family, their kin, Kennedy Barasa, aged 42, who is a father of 3, was attacked together with his colleague Robert Nabandi, who succumbed to the injuries last night as he was receiving treatment at the Bungoma Referral Hospital. The 2 security guards were offering protection services to a property located at the outskirts of Bungoma town. However, their security company, Simba Security Services, has refused to take responsibility for the workers and cater to their medical treatment. Barasa's family is now demanding the Simba Security Services steps up and ensures that he receives proper medical treatment. The security company has, however, stated that it is handling the matter.
Tukakaa hapo paka tulikaa district kutoka asubuhi paka saa 8 na hao wakubwa wake director from nowhere wakapotea. Kwa nini kupigia simu wakasema hawa wamekuwa tu wasaidizi kwa Ken. Paka na saa hii bado wanasema ni wasaidizi. Hatuelewi ni usaidizi mgani na wamekuwa wakifanya na Ken. Ken alikatwa kama ako kazini na ako na uniform. Watafanyaje ndio wasaidie huyu Ken? Ukipika simu, si tumekuwa tu wasaidizi. Wacha tu tuongee na wenye kampuni ni nini? Watatusaidia aje? Chunduku yetu ameumia. Ndugu yangu aongei, hasongi, hawezi inua mkono, hawezi fungua macho, wengine walikata. So, mimi nataka hii kampuni ya Simba yenyewe shughulikie ndugu yangu. Hasa imetuachia sisi familia na Ken amekuwa akifanya huko kazi. Sisi tumechanga 150,000. Wametaka 400. Kampuni itatoa hata kitu. Sasa ndio tunauliza hii yenye imebaki wataingilia walipa ama sisi tena tunaenda kushughulika tulipe hiyo pesa.
So tunataka tu justice. Kampuni yenye my brother alikuwa anafanyia kazi kama wanaweza come through juu wameshinda wakisema tu wana discuss wanafanya something. So tunataka tuone wakuje watusaidie juu Kennedy ako na watoto 3. Mwingine alifaa kwenda high school na yeye ndio the head of the family. Wamsaidie at least hata kama kulipa bila apone arudi at least aendelee kukata for his family.
May that family receive the assistance needed. We move to Uganda now. All is set ahead of the January 15th general elections. That's tomorrow, a decisive moment for the East African nation as millions prepare to cast their ballots. However, the build-up to polling day has been overshadowed by an internet shutdown that took effect on Tuesday at exactly 6 p.m. East African time, raising concerns among voters, civil society groups and the international community. And as election observation groups arrive and security is heightened across the country, human rights activists are warning that the polls are taking place under a cloud of repression and intimidation. Dolly Murigi tells us more.
With just hours to go before Ugandans head to the polls, the atmosphere across the country is a mixture of anticipation and tension. On Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. East African time, Ugandan authorities ordered a nationwide internet shutdown. Social media platforms, mobile money services and other online communication tools went dark, effectively cutting off millions of Ugandans from the outside world. The government says the move is meant to protect national security and prevent the spread of misinformation during the electoral process.
Internet restriction directed is in line with the legitimate purpose. That is protecting national security, public safety, and public order.
Despite the shutdown, the electoral preparations appear complete. Polling materials have been dispatched, security forces deployed, and election officials are in position across the country. Ahead of the elections, security forces have detained hundreds of opposition supporters and repeatedly used tear gas to disperse campaign events linked to President Yoweri Museveni's main rival, the 43-year-old Bobi Wine. Museveni, now aged 81, has ruled Uganda since 1986 after leading a 5-year armed rebellion, making him Africa's third longest-serving head of state. However, Uganda's Electoral Commission says 21.6 million registered voters are expected to take part in 3 major elections. First, the presidential election, where voters will choose the 8 candidates competing for the country's highest office. Second, the parliamentary constituency elections, in which 353 members of parliament will be elected to represent constituencies across the nation. And third, women parliamentary elections, where 146 women representatives, one from each local district, will be chosen to ensure gender representation in parliament. Meanwhile, several international and regional election observers organizations have arrived in Uganda ahead of the vote. These observers are expected to monitor polling, vote counting, and the overall conduct of the elections, assessing whether the process meets regional and international democratic standards. But as the country prepares to vote, concerns over human rights continue to mount. Human rights activists across Africa are raising red flags, warning that Uganda's elections will take place under what they described as an environment of repression and intimidation. As Uganda stands on the brink of the critical democratic moment, the world will be watching closely to see how tomorrow's elections unfold amid tight security, an ongoing internet blackout, and growing calls for respect for human rights and democratic freedom. Dolly Murigimbovi for Hope TV.
We're looking at the business news now. The International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, has commenced a program aimed at strengthening food production systems in the country. The project targets up to 40,000 small-scale farmers who will receive modern farming ecology techniques to enable them to increase their yields. IFAD Kenya Director Mariatu Kamara says the 3-year program, which is being funded by the European Union, will address climate change, the declining soil fertility, and soil erosion challenges. The program targets farmers from 6 counties of Kilifi, Kakamega, Embu, Trans Nzoia, Makueni, and Taita Taveta.
Already farmers have been identified. The program is set for rollout. We have disbursed the first sets of funds to the program already. So the identification of farmers is ongoing. Like I said, it's a 3-year program. We're hoping that we'll be able to implement ahead of schedule, because we are not really learning anything new. We are just continuing implementation and adding new activities with a focus on climatic issues and environmental issues. So really, in terms of rolling out, farmers should really not be an issue for this program.
Proto Energy and Ola Energy have entered into a partnership agreement that will see LPG gas, Proto Energy's Autogas brand, establish LPG dispensing pumps at Ola petrol stations in Nairobi, expanding access to cleaner, more affordable automotive fuel solutions. The collaboration leverages Ola Energy's existing retail infrastructure to support the adoption of LPG for dual-fuel vehicles, serving as the first phase of a planned multi-site rollout.
The beauty about this partnership is that Ola today in Kenya has about 109 service stations. And today the service station is not looked at as before. The service station today is a service destination. You don't only fill up on fuel or even wash your vehicle or maybe even enter a quick service restaurant, but today you can also fill it with auto gas.
The beauty of this partnership with Ola today as Proto Energy and Autogas and Ola Energy is that we are saying that we can actually increase the pace of adoption of LPG usage in our vehicles in Kenya.
News just in: the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority EPRA has announced new fuel prices for super petrol, diesel and kerosene that have decreased by 2 shillings, 1 shillings and 1 shillings per litre respectively. In Nairobi, the super petrol, diesel and kerosene will now retail at 182 shillings 52 cents, 170 shillings 47 cents, and 153 shillings 78 cents. The prices take effect midnight for the next 30 days. We now take a look at sports news in a short while. The Sports Now FC Leopards coach Fred Ambani has been named the Sports Journalists Association of Kenya SJAC Coach of the Month of December after guiding Ingwe to the top of the FKF Premier League after 14 rounds of the 2025-2026 season. Ambani, who is a former Leopards player himself, is credited with guiding the team to 3 wins and a draw against Gor Mahia during the Mashemeji Derby, and also securing the 2-1 win over Ulinzi Stars and the 1-0 victory over Bidco. Ambani beat other nominees in the category, including NCPB handball coach Brian Matthews and 3x3 basketball team coach Zadok Adika.
Asanteni sana kwa kuja na bunifu kama huu. Unajua at least ni kitu poa sana na motivate kwa coaches kufanya kazi na wasi sana waendelee kufanya hizo. Ni kitu haikuwa. Na sasa vile nakuja unapata makocha pia watangangana at least kila mtu akwe anapata hii nini. Wachezaji mwaka wa mamua lazima bebe kikombe. Na sisi kama ati bench kazi yetu ni kuwa guide at least wafanye nini, wakuwe watulivu, wajue ligi bibu na mdomo na bibu na vitendo. Sasa wakiendelea kupiga watu ndio at least wanatuma statement kwa other teams kuwa wako ready kuchukua ligi.
Ingwe, as I can call them, they've really been brilliant in the month of December. They won 3 matches, drew 1. They beat Gor Mahia, Ulinzi and Bidco, then drew the other match. So I think the panel did a good job, but maybe this time they didn't have a very difficult task to pick the winner because it was almost outright.
And one more Kenyans are joining in the tree-hugging feat now with Kenyan athlete Joseph Njuguna from Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet County, embarking on a tree-hugging challenge to protest against gender-based violence and doping in sports in the country. Njuguna is attempting the feat in 72 hours in honor of Kenyan athletes such as the late Agnes Tirop, who succumbed to injuries sustained in gender-based violence incident, and to raise awareness against the two vices. Njuguna joins a number of Kenyans who have taken to the tree-hugging challenge to raise awareness over various societal matters. We'll take up that challenge for the next tree-hugging idea. I welcome. Well, that's how we wrap up Newswatch. Many thanks for your company and support as we continue giving you news, views, and interviews here on Hope TV Newswatch. I've been your news anchor, Melissa Oduor, together with Boniface Muredi on the sign language. On behalf of the team that made this possible, have a good night.